Hello, and thank you for joining me today. I want to do a reading and I want to get right into this angel reading because this message is it's very timely and important. And there were a whole lot of these like weird distractions and things that were going on, which I will share later in the video, but which I think are important. But I want to get right into it. So what I'm doing today this is an angel reading centered around, I was questioning the angels like about fear. You know, there's so much going on in our world that is creating this energy of fear. And it's being used and weaponized by the media and just in social media. It's infiltrated in everything. Everything is like some of it is not new, okay, but it's reaching a height. It's creating this I see this like almost like an entity, right, of fear. And so I wanted to get some clarity on that. And another thing I'll share again later on is how an additional reason why I came in. I wanted to talk about this and the synchronicity around that. But like I said, I want to just get right into it. So I'm just centering myself. And again, my name is Amanda Wise. I am an intuitive, angel messenger, Reiki master, energy worker, sound healer. And I'm so grateful and humbled to be able to offer you these messages, these divine messages that want to come through. So I've already pulled the cards, and I will share with you too the decks that I use later in the video as well. So the first card, when I pull these, I pull them from two different decks that I like to use. And the first card for both, I pull them consecutively. So two cards for each of these four kind of quadrants. So the first one is just the general, it kind of gives like what the general question of the fear that I'm looking into was my question today, but whatever it may be that I'm looking into. But today, rather than for a specific person, I'm looking into this energy field of fear. So the card that came up, which is interesting, is Show Me My Purpose. And there's a couple of things that are coming through with this. And the one thing is this ascension energy that's coming through and reminding us that this energy of fear is there in this 3D realm to teach us, to allow the light within us to flow through and show us our next steps ahead. And it's almost like a veil that we this 3D construct around us has been designed, by us, for us to on this ascension process of our soul. And that's the purpose of what we're here to experience, to go through all these experiences. And it's almost like, in a way, a type of game, in the sense that we are being asked to look through what is showing me like a barrier of fear, and to be able to see through it, almost like when you're looking at a screen, not a TV screen, like a screen, in a window screen, sometimes when it's like a darker screen and you can focus on the screen and that's what you see. And that's like the fear that I'm seeing. And if you can refocus in our perception to look past the fear and look through it of what is the truth of what is really going on. So that's the one element of this. The other element of this is the Show Me My Purpose. And that's leading me into that this time is the time of a great awakening on our planet, in a very real sense, that more and more people, our consciousness individually as souls and also in the collective, is barreling forward at a faster and faster pace, which is an amazing thing. But it also is, as something moves faster and faster, it's kicking up dust and debris and this fear and all these things that are being uncovered, these shadowy like energies of fear. And so it's an internal and an external aspect. So in the external world, you're looking out and you're seeing, oh my God, there's so much to fear. There's this war, today, the last day of September, all these generals were just formed. I, happened to look at my phone and got bombarded with a notification of, there are these, generals coming. What does this mean? People are being organized in different cities and, Three-Eye Atlas. Are we being invaded by aliens or, and all these different things, the economy's falling and things are crumbling. And so when we look outward, we look inward, and what it is we are being asked to look inside of ourselves more. So more and more people are waking up and more people are looking at what the true purpose is. This veil is being lifted and being able to see what is actually going on. All of these things for so long in our lives have been put on top of us so that we aren't able to see what is truth. And as we go forward, we need to allow ourselves to change our perception. And we're being asked to look through that and what is the core truth that's coming through. So it's asking us to take off these external glasses that are put on us to see this world and be able to see what the truth is, so that we are not just prisoned by fear, but is allowing us to wake up, and it's helping us actually to speed up that process. So for those of us that are already awakening, because it's a process for all of us, that others are being awakened, others are still asleep, others are still not. There are so many that are not awake. So we are all awakening, and this is part of the process, the unearthing of this. So the other card that what the total, around this whole situation of fear, this is the goddess of nature. And this card, so what I'm getting from this is to allow the earth to hold us, allow Mother Earth, Gaia energy to ground us. And so that when we have all of these fears, these are all cerebral brain, these frequencies go into our brain and they try to activate this primal urge in all humans, this fight or flight, this panic. And what the angel messages are coming through, the angels want us to remember to, again, see through this and know that the earth is there to hold us. If we can be present enough to allow the earth energies to keep us grounded and not be affected by, all of the noise of this fear mongering, to look at it with a different perspective and to feel that earth energy and the grounding. So you can take that in a literal sense of going out and grounding yourself. Whenever you get in those, remember these frequencies, it's affecting you on a primal level, and we need to, if you ground yourself to the earth, it will give you that peaceful channel to allow the divine messages to come through you as well, to ground yourself and know the fear is an external and is not an internal thing. So the next card, when I ask, it has to do relationship with fear in this particular instance. So show me what joy is. And I love this card because it's so freeing and just the arms opening. And this is just a message of our relationship with fear doesn't have to mean that we are in fear. So if we can be joyful. We can be joyful and choose not to be drawn under by that fear. So it's just, again, it's like, don't forget who you really are and what's really going on. when you see those fear messages and this is happening and that is happening, to use your own discernment and come back in and ask the angels for help and allow yourself to be joyful. That is a huge message, because to bring more light, to bring more joy, to bring more peace and happiness into the world, we need to embody that ourselves. And so a lot of these negative energies, these energies that are out that create fear and havoc in the world, and to hold them in a place of non-judgment. And this is asking a lot of us but we are at the point where we are beginning to be able to understand that we can have fear and destruction and death as part of our experience here on earth, because this is part of the whole experience. This is what makes this experiment work and how we are ascending. And we are beginning to be able to transcend that experience of earth. But right now we are in the part of this process that this is actually happening. So at the same time, we are being asked to hold this in non-judgment, but also be able to transcend it and to be able to find joy, to spread joy, to enjoy your life, to enjoy those moments, your family, all of those things, love, and that it's not being that you are not aware of others' suffering. You are holding that, and that you are bringing in more light, because you can't fight fear and destruction and negativity, and all of those things are perceived as the dark forces, dark energy. You can't fight that with dark. You have to fight it with your light, with being peaceful, being happy, being joyful, and creating those things and manifesting those things so that you can be a higher frequency, and it will raise all boats, as they say. So the other card that came through in the other deck, God of the Arts. And this is a beautiful card too. And there's also little sayings here underneath. And the artist within is emerging. And there's just so much love coming through right now. And that this is a time, in this time of great awakening, that there are artists being bloomed and are blossoming as we speak, and that are upcoming, that are being born, that the new children of the earth, the new human that is coming into being, that we are, no matter where you are in your life, that you may be having these urges for creation, for expression, that maybe you haven't been completely using, and you are being called and asked to bring that forth. That is why you are here. This fear energy, this fear, which comes down to like fear of death, essentially. Well, there is no death. And so, but it's more than a fear of death. That this message is coming through is that it's fear of getting to death and not having fulfilled your purpose in this life that your soul wanted to come and do in this life. And so if we are being asked to look at our fear, not just release our fear, because we need to look at something square in the eye and deal with it to release it. We need to witness it and in order for it to be released. And so that's what I see in this, that it's a call to awakening, and it's that enlivening of those creative juices of love, creativity, art, play. And these are the antidotes to this fear that's going on in the outer world, or that we're being bombarded with these frequencies. So the next set of cards and has to do with usually like purpose or career or finances, but like in regards to what's coming through in that aspect with fear. So this card that came through is help me with patience. And there is an hourglass. And what is coming through for me here, loud and clear, is that this is a time, as I said, of transition. And we would all love to snap our fingers and be in the fifth dimension and through all of this upheaval and craziness and be into the new earth, right? That we can see that is becoming, that is the evolution. But this is a process. And although you can be and make choices that you, in your world, in your perception, in your reality, you can reside in that. You can pop in and out of that reality at your will. That is your choice. But as a collective, as this planet is going through these changes, there are these outer conflicts that are happening in reality, in this 3D reality that we have to deal with. And really what Spirit wants you to know, and what the angels are trying to get through, is that this time of transition is, when you see all of these happenings and they're happening quicker and quicker, it is a last gasp of this old energy that is on the earth, trying to like hold it with like white knuckling this control of our planet and of our humanity here together on this planet. And we are being asked to have patience, that we need to center ourselves, and we are, and this process is happening no matter what, and we are being asked to be a witness of it. And as we are a witness of it, that is going to help the consciousness of our planet evolve. Just being able to, like I said, be a witness. When you're a witness of it, those lessons, they can be those energies that are holding those blocks. So this is like blocks on a consciousness level and collective consciousness level of blocks, that those can be released. So we are witnessing those. That's what's happening right now, the witnessing of the collective consciousness and the blocks in its grip on holding the earth in the current state of what it is. And we are asked to be patient. Now, the next card, the card from the other deck that has to do with the same thing of this, is the Angel of Families. And I'm getting like from two different angles here. Okay, your earth family, and whatever that is for you, the people, your chosen family, your given family, your friends, your family, your close-knit, your people, and also your soul family, your angelic family, your soul family, your galactic family, that we are all a part of, and that we have this support here in relation to this whole happening, this whole thing of fear. And they know it, and they're holding you, and they are there for you to help you through this process. Because what's happening, it's like it's happening now. And I personally have felt this for my whole life, of something big happening, and it's been building and building and building. And now I'm getting these confirmations through these messages that want to come through. And I'm not the only one. There are many people saying these things, but these messages are coming through because we are in the midst of it now. And we are at a point, and again, with this patience, and I come back to this image again, because this, there is a point where it comes through, and it's a very tight funnel, and all of the world is shifting, and those things right here, those old energies are going to be, they're not going to make it through this funnel into the next realm, the next density of where we're headed as a humanity. And all these things happening, this is a last gasp, and it gets more and more absurd, right? More absurd, more flamboyant, more more rhetoric, more anything they can throw at it. That's what I'm getting. That's what I'm seeing. Like one of those things, like anything they can throw at it, but it doesn't matter because the light is coming. The light is coming up. We are evolving. There's no if and but about it. This is happening. It's just the more people that are lighting up, are lighting up, and the faster that this will happen. So it is going to be a bumpy ride, and riding it out, and we are asked to hold compassion, but also to let our light through. Okay, so the last two cards, and this is where I'll ask, to a client, like, is there a specific question you want to ask, or do you just want to see what comes through from the angels? And for this reading, the purpose of this, I again asked, what can we do about this fear? What can we do when we are confronted with this? And so this first card, help me to be free and one with self-love. And I love this message, and I just get so, it's just like right up here in the heart chakra, just like there is a heart with these pieces. And what I see as this emotion just flowing through is that these pieces of ourself, these soul pieces of ourself are coming back. And what it's asking us is, do we need to heal ourself and our own fears that we've had personally in our life, to look at them, to face them, no matter what it is, whatever fears you might have, you could write them all down. You know, when you say, like, I just want to release what no longer serves, and that is a beautiful, beautiful intention. But what I've come to realize is that we have to do the work too, and we can ask our angels for help and our spirit guides and our soul families for help. But we need to look at, where are those places? What are those shadows within ourselves? What are we afraid of? And naming them and looking at them, and then coming back to self-love despite all of those things, because we are perfect just as we are. Even with our light and dark, we need the light and the dark. And our soul is within that is absolutely perfect, is perfection. And we are working with, again, all of these things that have been put on us, these fears that have come from, parent, teacher, friends, people that were, bullies, whoever they were in your life, this person, that person, where are those things come from? What is your fear? What are your fears? And we're being asked to look at ourselves. And that's that, again, the mirror between our outer reality and our inner reality, because it truly is a mirror. Every relationship, our environment, where we are, the job we have, the life we have, it's our mirror of our frequency. And so we're being asked to look at that, to release them, and it is a process, and our angels are there to support us. And that is the message that I'm getting. Now, this next card is really interesting as well. The God of conflict resolution. Okay. And again, I see just compassion in this card. You are being encouraged to walk away from a current conflict. That's the message on the card. Sometimes I'm called to read those little messages, and sometimes it doesn't come up. So in this regard, it's okay to walk away and step back. And this is what I'm getting, to take a step back from listening to all of the rhetoric and everything else. It's very impossible to not be affected or be on social media or hear a news story or hear somebody talking about a story. So it's, we interact, we're a human species. We are in constant relation with others. But there is a point where the angels are asking us to take a step back from this conflict again and remove yourself from that while still holding compassion for it. And working on that self-love, Because if each and every individual person loved themselves, what would this world be like? Right? So that is the key, right? If every person, we look at back to ourselves, and that's what we can do, and we share it with others and teach others. And that's why light workers are being awakened every day, more and more, that are coming into the fold, that we are a movement shining our light all over the planet as much as possible with others. So that is my mission, and that is what the angels are coming through me today to share with you when you get bombarded, and to not be overwhelmed by the fear, but instead come back to release it to earth, release it to Gaia, release it to your angels, because they're holding you. God, the universe, source, whatever is coming, whatever your word for that is. And that is the message that is coming through today, which this was really, I feel joy and uplifted, and my frequency is definitely energized and uplifted from this message, all these messages that came through. So let me know in the comments. Let me know if you like this video. Please, like this video, share it with anyone that you feel would benefit and that would be open to these messages, and subscribe to the channel. And I'm so happy that I can, that I am doing this myself. I am part of this, and I'm saying, yes, it's okay. You are needed, and join me and join all of us, that we will make a difference in this way. This is how it will happen. And like I said, I will share, before I go, the decks that I use, so this one deck, that I use, and I'm going to get up for a second because it's over here. I want to show you. So this one is called, Ask Your Soul. And I really love this one, and the messages on it. Karen Paulina Carrera, and she was actually one of my teachers. And those are just absolutely beautiful. And this other deck that I like to use, Angels, Gods, Goddesses, by Tony Carmine Salerno. And these are really beautiful as well. And I think they just, I have many decks, but as you know, if you delve into reading cards, which I think everyone should, I think I've been doing it for 20 years, starting with tarot cards, and have used many decks, and it's just utterly fascinating. And when you see the messages that come through, I mean, you really can't make this stuff up. It's just the support that's there, that's divinely working through you, and the power of our energy when we connect with our higher self, and with the angels, with the higher realms. And it's really absolutely fascinating and amazing. So, the other things that I wanted to share. So this message was so important for me that I felt that had to come through, and that I wanted to come through today. Just, there were so many synchronicities that were happening. I'm reading this, I've been reading, it's sort of you could be reading this book, Your Life. And it's the Gene Keys by Richard Rudd, who is just brilliant. And it's this channeled information, and it has to do with your DNA and how it links up with these specific energies, the shadow energies and the gift energies and the CD energies, the frequencies, which are literally unlocking and shifting and creating this new human, okay, on the planet. It's really fascinating, and it sounds really, it's very hard to explain in a short amount of time, but I wanted to share that I was just the other night, or finishing reading about fear of failure particularly, but this message of fear and how much it was just correlating with what is happening in our outer world, and how it's just being used you know, in such a vile way. And it has been for a long time, but it's just ramped up to the point where, like I said, things are just becoming like absurd. And that should be like just red flags going off of, you know, that we are not going to be controlled. We cannot be controlled. We are not going to be controlled by these energies, right? These low shadow frequency energies. And so I'm like, you know, I'm setting up to do this message today in this reading, and I'm getting like distracted. There's like people knocking on my door, like a solicitor for like the lawn care. And then like the dog, like my dog Peach is like whining and wants, like has to go outside like right then. And then she like took off. So there's like all these things, like sometimes like there's these like pitfall, these things that happen that seem to like want to like knock you off your path. And it's this like frenetic energy of this 3D energy that's trying to knock you off your path. And you need to stay strong with your intuition and push past that stuff, you know, and go on forward with it. You know, because it's like sometimes things happen, you're like, oh, I guess whatever, maybe like whatever, I'm not going to do this. It's not the right time or something. So, but you have to tune into yourself and trust yourself. Like, no, this is actually, you know, this is where I'm meant to be, and staying center in that and staying in your lane of like, no, I know, and I'm not going to be thrown off track. So don't let yourself be thrown off track by whatever nonsense is going off out there. And you can always tune in, and you know it, because you do know, you know, deep in your soul, in yourself. And we all have this gift of intuition. And the more you tune into it, the better off you're going to be, and the easier your path is going to unfold. So anyway, those are just some last tidbits I wanted to throw in there, but that's it for now. And I will see you in the next video. I love you all so much.